A lot of DJs completely ruin their club sets when they try and scratch. They either do too much, use the wrong sounds, or it just sounds messy. But if you know how to do it properly, a few clean scratches will make your set stand out and hit way harder. In this video, I'm going to show you how to scratch in a club set without killing the vibe. My name's Blakey and I'm a DMC champion. Let's get into it. Now, scratching in a club is not the same as scratching at home or in a competition. In a club, the goal is to keep the energy flowing and the dance floor moving. That means picking the right techniques, using the right sounds, and keeping it clean and tasteful. I'm going to break down exactly how to do it. I'll demo the techniques live, and I'll show you how to make scratches a part of the whole set rather than just a distraction. Now, before we get started, a very quick side note. A question that I get asked all the time as a DJ educator is, where do pro DJs find their music in 2025? I've actually put together a free in-depth course all about how DJs find their music and build out their library. It's completely free. The link is in the description, so check it out after this video. Okay, so when it comes to adding scratch into your club sets, there are three main techniques that you should focus on because frankly, they sound the best, they're not overcomplicated, and they can be added into any DJ set without it becoming too technical. That's the mistake I see a lot of DJs make. They try and be too technical in a club and they forget that the scratches should just complement the tracks. And ideally, the scratches should tie together all of the mixes. So the three techniques that you should focus on are the baby scratch, the chirp scratch, and the transformer scratch. And right now I'm going to walk you through each one of those techniques, starting off with the baby scratch. So right here, I've got a piece of vocal right at the start of Tupac, California Love. And we're just going to use the very beginning of that sound. So what I've done is I've made sure that the start of the sound is when the sticker is pointing at 12 o'clock. And the reason I've done this is that means even if the sticker is round here, just by looking at the sticker, I know I just need to bring that back to 12 o'clock. Now, the baby scratch is the first scratch that anyone learns. It's the most simple, but when it's done right in a club set, it sounds great. So you turn the crossfader on so that the sound is coming through, and you make sure that your hand is on the jog wheel around the 9 o'clock position just as the sound begins. So that's perfect. As long as your hand is around this area here, right at the start of the sound, that's perfect. Now, the baby scratch is simply moving the jog wheel backwards and forwards rhythmically without using the fader at all. The baby scratch only uses your hand on the jog wheel. And the reason that this is called the baby scratch is it's the baby steps of learning to scratch. So my advice, if you're very new to scratching, is to just drill the baby scratch over and over until you feel completely comfortable with your hand on the jog wheel. Try and keep your hand as relaxed as possible so that the movement flows cleanly. If you have a really tense hand, then you're not going to be able to smoothly push out these baby scratches so that they're nice and flowing. You can try different rhythms like that one right there. The goal here is to simply get comfortable and confident with your hand on the jog wheel. Now, what I've shown you here in this video is just a taste. Inside my full ultimate scratching course, I break down every technique from beginner to advanced, step by step. And I show you exactly how to get each technique sounding clean and club ready. So if you really want to level up your scratching, hit the link down in the description and check that out. Now, if you're already at a level where you can do the baby scratch no problem, then what you need to focus on is doing the baby scratch faster. Now, when I perform the baby scratch in a club, I actually perform it at quite a fast tempo because performing it quickly actually sounds better in a club set. And I actually play around with the crossfader. I start to introduce the crossfader and turn the sound on and off. So you can see I'm doing 3 baby scratches very quickly. But I'm turning the fader off after those 3. Fast baby scratches like this actually work with lots of different sounds. So right now we're using a piece of vocal, but let's see what it sounds like when we use a kick drum. If you're new to scratching, then just focus on doing the baby scratch without the crossfader and just work on getting that rhythm nice and consistent. If you need help keeping the rhythm consistent when performing the baby scratch, then try practicing it over an instrumental. Next up, we have the Chirp Scratch. Now the Chirp Scratch actually has the same movement as the baby scratch on the jog wheel. You're simply moving the jog wheel backwards and forwards. And what we do with the crossfader is we start with the crossfader open, we push the sound forward, and then at the end of the forward push, when we get around here with the sticker, we'll then turn the fader off like this. And then we bring the sound back to the start of the sound, but just after we start bringing it back, we turn the fader back on like this. So let's repeat that a few times. This creates a nice sharp sounding baby scratch. So by cutting off the end of the forward motion and the start of the backward motion, it just makes it sound tighter. And in my opinion, the Chirp Scratch is the best scratch for club sets. Now let's take a listen to the Chirp Scratch over a beat. And the third scratch technique that works in club sets is the transformer scratch. Now we're going to be using this vocal again from California Love. And the reason for this is the transformer scratch works best with a long sound. You can't perform the transformer scratch with a short sound like a kick drum or a short vocal. It has to be a longer sound, so this is perfect. And the transformer scratch is simply turning the fader on and off using your index and middle finger whilst keeping your thumb resting against the fader to keep it closed between each click of the fader. So we rest our thumb, we use our index and middle finger to turn the fader on like this, and you can see the thumb is acting kind of like a spring to push the fader closed each time. Now you're not actually applying a bunch of pressure with your thumb, it's actually very light, but you do need to make sure that every time you click the fader on, your thumb pushes it back to the closed position. Now, first of all, I'm going to perform a 2-click transformer where I turn the fader on and off twice on the forward motion of the sound, and then I bring the sound back to the start whilst again performing a 2-click transform. The transformer scratch does take some practice, but with enough practice and guidance, you'll get there quicker than you think. The transformer scratch sounds great as long as you're using a longer sound. This is one of the best scratches to perform in a club. Now let's take a listen to the transformer scratch over a beat. It's also super important to make sure that the sounds you're scratching with match up with the scratch techniques that you're performing. So for example, trying to do transformer scratches with a kick drum or a percussion hit is just not going to work. It will only work with longer sounds like synth notes or longer vocals. The baby scratch and the chirp scratch, they work best with shorter sounds. So kick drums and vocals would be perfect for those techniques. And it's also super important to make sure you don't overdo it. The very best scratch DJs in the world, they pepper scratching throughout their sets. Rather than it sounding like a 10-minute routine, they perform tasteful, clean scratches in between their mixes. And the scratches, that's what ties all of the mixes together. So when it comes to scratching in a club, less is more, but just make sure that it's clean and impactful. Scratching in a club is about control, taste, and making it fit with the music that you're playing. If you want to take your scratching learning even further, then feel free to check out my Ultimate Scratching course. The link is in the description. That course will teach you everything you'll ever need to know about every scratch technique in the world, and I will guide you step by step. Now, if you want to learn which mistakes to avoid as a scratch DJ, then you should check out this video right here, where I break it all down in detail.